Get in! The shirt's back on for those of you who follow me on Instagram, because Chelsea have made history. Enzo Fernandez has made history. Not necessarily the greatest that you want, but important history, because he scored the winner that saw Chelsea win for the first time. Listen, Chelsea have won for the first time in the Premier League after being 2-0 down. It's never happened before. Yes, West Ham were out of sorts. Well, they were found a bit of form lately. We'll get into that. And we're at home. But Chelsea have played in the Premier League since early 90s. So we've had plenty of opportunities. Those great teams with Frank Lampard, John Terry, Drogba, Eden Hazard, N'Golo Kante, all of them. They would have gone 2-0 down at some games and they've never come back to win it. Now, 3 years to the day Enzo Fernandez signed for Chelsea. El Capitano, who apparently speaks good English now and does team talks with Reece James. 3 years to the day from signing him, scores a winner in a feisty London derby affair where we learnt a lot. Liam Rosenior said before this game, I'm going to learn a lot about my players of this game. And I think he might have. Bad? Garnacho. Good. The main boys that came off the bench. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Firstly, look at this. That's a spicy meatball for those of you watching video on YouTube and Spotify video. They've wrote me in again. Those ruddy little blighters. I bought the pre-match, what's it called, the warm-up kit, whatever it is for next season. It does look good. It's based off that 90s Courts kit. I just imagine Ruud Gullit in it. I had to get it. So, and for those of you who follow me on Instagram will know, I never, ever wear Chelsea shirts. When I used to go to games, I never used to wear Chelsea shirts. And I never wear Chelsea shirts when I'm watching the game. I always think it's bad juju. But because I just got this, I thought, I'm going to wear it. And we got absolutely slapped by West Ham in the first, dare I say, 50 minutes, not just the first half. And I took the shirt off. And I said on Instagram at halftime, I'm taking the shirt off. And if we come back and win this, for those of you who follow me, at Football Yannick, I said, if we somehow come back and win this, I'm never wearing a Chelsea shirt watching Chelsea again, whether at home or live or whatever. Never. And so it has been told. I am never, ever going to watch Chelsea in a Chelsea kit again. I'll wear it in videos, but that's about it. Anyway, welcome back. If you're watching on YouTube, please do consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing if you are new. This is also available on all good podcast platforms. Just search Football Therapy Podcast. Check me out on Spotify. Give us a follow and a 5-star review. If you're feeling good, and you know what, and you're thinking, I want to help you out. Chelsea have won. We've done a comeback. It's exciting. There was a fight. Tadibo was sent off. We'll cover it all. I'm going to like this video. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to give him a 5-star rating on Spotify, even if I have to watch 5 to 10 seconds to qualify for a rating. And then also follow Football Therapy Clips on Instagram and TikTok. Oh my, so much to get into. Now, Rosenior said I'll learn a lot about my players in this game. And he made a lot of rotations. Remember, there's this new medical team that basically say who can and can't play. And obviously that's caused a great deal of controversy. Maresca didn't like it. I'm kind of sitting in the middle because we had such a horrendous injury crisis in recent years, and the fact how we looked like we fixed Reece James and Wesley Fofana, I'm kind of thinking maybe listen to the medical team to a degree. Of course, we came off a midweek intense game away in the Diego Maradona against Naples, and there was a fair amount of rotation here, but let's have a look. So, Rob Sanchez in goal. The back line, Jarell Hato did have a really good game for Rosenior previously, but that we'll speak about the left side. Badiashile, here on SofaScore, our highest rated player in the back line. Trev Chalobah and Gusto, who got low rated. I think he didn't play a great game personally. Caicedo and Enzo in the midfield, and I feel like I'm going to quickly look at the heat maps here. So yeah, it was a one-man Caicedo midfield. Yeah, left pocket Fernandez, and right pocket Cole Palmer, and then width in theory held by Garnacho and Gittins. The setup didn't work, and Delap came in. Now, we need to play Delap in games, firstly, because he is a striker who scored 12 Premier League goals for Ipswich. He's good on transition. He's been coached by both, incidentally, Maresca and Liam Rosenior before he came to Chelsea. And he has got something about him. There's a reason why Bayern Munich, Man United, Newcastle were all trying to buy Delap. He's yet to really do anything in a Chelsea shirt. We haven't seen him. We haven't actually seen what he can do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't really remember. The only games are Chelsea games I remember thinking, oh my god, Delap looks wicked, is the 2 games he played against us last season for Ipswich when he absolutely bullied the heck out of all our defenders. In a Chelsea shirt, I haven't seen it yet. But of course he's going to be played because Chelsea's number 9. We need to rotate. We've had a midweek games. Gittins and Garnacho, I kind of sort of understand because Estevao couldn't be in the squad because he had to fly back to Brazil for personal reasons. So we all, wish him well. Hope nothing too bad's been happening over there. So, and Neto's been flogged. João Pedro's played a lot of football, so I kind of understand it. But it was so bad when Rosenior said we'll learn a lot about his team. He'll learn this left-hand side. Gittins came off early and was injured. He actually made a contribution defending on the break. I'm going to talk about Garnacho. Just quickly on West Ham, they come in, they've got this new system where they play 2 new strikers. So West Ham have had a terrible start to the Premier League. They've been in like a relegation battle. But they found a bit of form in January because they've made the signings of the strikers. They found a new formation. They've had 3 wins in a row. And they've got the new assistant manager, to Nuno Espirito Santo. And the vibes seem to be up out of nowhere. So we were sort of catching them when they found a bit of form, and they've got the new players and the new assistant manager who reportedly the Athletic say he's got massive influence on how they set up. So, and Bowen and Somerville have been playing really well, as they have in this game as well. Somerville and Bowen, Fernandes was good as well in the midfield, but they have the capacity to play well and play on the break, and they absolutely destroyed us on the break. And it was all down the left-hand side. Like, Hato's a good young player. We'll see the best of him eventually. But he was getting sort of really left because Garnacho was trying to defend. He just couldn't do it. He got Cafu Wan-Bissaka, having the time of his life, getting 2 assists. He's never got 2 assists in his entire career. It was all coming down that right-hand side. In fact, let's look at the statistics for the first half. So take a deep breath, gang. We had 69%, I mean, to be honest, I thought it was going to be more than that. They scored 2 goals out of no big chances. To be honest, that's not as dominant as I thought West Ham would have been. They kept getting in behind, though. So let's just look at the second half after the changes. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea, 72% possession, 2.26 XG to 0.61. Yeah, it was an absolutely dominant second half from Chelsea. And that was actually after the 50 sort of first minute, really. Yeah, so they were absolutely roasting us on their right, our left-hand flank. And Garnacho, man, I thought he was this sort of tenacious, willing to work hard kind of guy. And maybe he is, but he was getting turned inside out, roasted, skinned, spread on toast. And then you got Hato behind him, his kid. Is he still 19 or has he turned 20? I don't know. He might still be a teenager. And that was the problem. I mean, you could say we weren't clicking at all attacking-wise, but it was just open for business, that side of the pitch. And that's what screwed us, and we never really got going. And, because Gittins comes off injured, we're like, the changes essentially makes us have Neto and Palmer as the wingers, which was literally the only option. And then we play with, João Pedro comes on as the sort of 10-second striker, and we sort of playing he's not really a number 10, it's kind of like a 2-striker system with Delap. And Delap, to be honest, although he obviously didn't score or assist or anything, he looked a lot better in the second half. Or, since we got going, he was actually making good runs and that, and he looked like Enzo Fernandez, Reece James, Malo Gusto towards the end were putting crosses in for him. There was one bit where he nearly scored a glancing ball. He's playing like a 9, but we don't really play like an old school, to an old school 9's profile, if that makes sense. So if we can look on the screen now, you see the attacking momentum. That first half, this thing just shows you Chelsea have got a lot of the ball, but they just slapped us on the break twice. And then, of course, we score 3 goals in the second half to complete a comeback. Like I said, making history. Chelsea have never before won from being 2 goals down in the Premier League, which is insane to say, considering how we've had Champions League winning teams, we've had Premier League winning teams. But, you know, it's Rosinia's Chelsea that's done it. And, of course, you could say, well, it's, him learning about his lineup and certain players being poor in the first half. And then bringing on the good players to beat a West Ham that are fallible and, and basically take them on and win. And, there's a bit of that. But it doesn't change the fact how, when's the Premier League formed? 1992? It's been around for a long time, bro. And there's been a lot of good Chelsea teams that have had stinkers in, first halves and gone behind and never come back. One against teams So it's crazy that it took this long. And these are good. I think this is I'm going to speak about Enzo Fernandez in Chelsea news soon because there's been a good article on him wanting a new contract. And I think maybe we should give it to him. He's been here for 3 years now. He says he doesn't want PSG. He admires Real Madrid. Which, yeah, that Real Madrid story will not go away. Alright, so we'll speak about the grander scheme of things. We've got to moonwalk through this friggin' timeline, man. Because it was crazy. So the first goal, yeah. The first goal. Wan-Bissaka to Jarrod Bowen. Now, I'm not going to dig out Robert Sanchez. I think everyone was pretty bad in that first half. Hold on, look at the ratings of our substitutes quickly. Look at the substitute ratings. 7.1, 7.9, 7.7, 8. Even Reece at 6.6 is like a neutral. I think he looked a little bit rusty. But look, Sanchez I felt quite bad for. I've been one of his biggest critics. But in this game, I felt bad for him because the Somerville goal was an amazing goal, but the Bowen goal, I saw some people digging him out, but it was, so Bowen puts in what he thinks is a cross. The striker is going for what he thinks is a cross, and Sanchez in goal has set himself for what he thinks is a cross. Everyone thinks it's a cross, and then the striker's going for it, but Sanchez is set for the striker to go for it, but it just happens that it just got a bit of whip on it and just goes in. So it's a very peculiar situation, and I do actually have a bit of sympathy for Rob Sanchez in that goal, but it wasn't for me. The 2 goals, so you got the Somerville goal, which is a really good transitional move and an amazing finish. So it was an unfortunate weird goal and a great goal, but the goals weren't the problem. It was just how flawed the team were performing, the setup. Like you say, I'm not going to dig out Rosinia too much because he keeps fixing it. Maresca didn't do much of that. He just sort of watched Chelsea crash and burn at times. And because it's great that he keeps fixing it, and you've got to give him a little bit of leeway because he's literally just got here this month. Yeah, I mean, 30 days ago, Maresca was sacked, and then we had a few days to talk to manage. How long's he been here? Like 25 days? And he's played so many games in so many different competitions, only winning every single game and only losing to Arsenal, which, is only half time in a game. And, I think Rob Sanchez cost us in that game. You got to give him, he's changing games, bro. And yes, he's setting up incorrectly, but he's a young coach who's just got here. He's literally learning about players. He's giving them a chance. He's saying to Garnacho, go and do something. London derby at home. Go and show them what you're made of. You scored those 2 goals against Arsenal. You've got some credit in the bank. Go and do it. He doesn't do it. He does bad things. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. So Pedro Neto does come on for Gittins to play on, Gittins was playing out of position on the right. He does play there sometimes. I do feel a little bit bad for Gittins because he's not really having a chance to demonstrate his ability. So Neto comes on. He's a big boy footballer, but very, very soon after we concede that transitional goal and, Somerville scores and we're lucky to maybe get in at half-time at 2-0. I do a half-time live. I speak about the shirt looking beautiful but cursing the game. So I said I'm going to take it off for the second half, and if we win I'll never wear a Chelsea shirt again. So we see changes. Badia shield for Wes Fofana, and I'm going to talk about my boy Wes Fofana. Don't you worry. Cucurella as well for Hato and Garnacho. So the main culprits, I'm not going to dig out Hato too much. He's a kid. I mean, Garnacho also is a kid, but he's got a lot of experience. The 2 culprits on the left-hand side come off, and that triple changes the shape. So Trevo goes left centre-back. Wesley Fofana goes kind of like a de facto right centre-back, right back. Joao Pedro goes in the number 10, pushes Palmer out to the right, and therefore we see Neto go to the left. And it takes about 10 minutes, and my boy, Wesley Fofana. Now, he doesn't always have good games. Look at him, he's got a 7.9 rating here. Big boy rating. He's not a right back. He gets played at right back sometimes. He's not a proper right back, but he's him and Colwill. I totally understand the vision with Chelsea. Obviously, we won the Club World Cup with them two against, that's the pairing, the vision. Colwill sort of sits back, defends in the air, sort of does lots of passing, stays central. Wesley Fofana's up and down, aggressive, pushes. He's a really fast recovery pace to get back, and he's really good at progressing the ball with his feet. And they both score goals. Both Colwill and Fofana score goals. But that ball, that beautiful assist from my boy Wesley, I think Gary Neville on co-coms called it De Bruyne-like. It was a superb assist. And that was an important goal. So it's before the hour mark. We've got a goal back. And it's the 5 minutes before then, we really start turning the screw. And then 13 minutes later, of course, Cucurella scores his first goal of the season. It's a bit of a goalmouth scramble. The ball bounces about, but he's showing I'm one of these big boys, these senior players. He was brave. He really put his head where it hurts. And you're thinking, right, we got 20 minutes to go and win this. Understandably, even before the goal, Kilman comes on. The formation changes from West Ham to a back three. They're like, okay, if we don't do anything here, Chelsea are going to come back into the game properly. The formation change doesn't do much. He brings on another striker again in Wilson. They try and play up. Reece James comes on the 81st minute. Obviously, Rosini is like, right, that's his final change. Get the captain on. Go win this. Reece looked pretty rusty, actually. His touch betrayed him a couple of times. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. Enzo Fernandez in the stoppage time, 92nd minute. Joao Pedro, it's a great goal. I lost my mind. The combinational play and then the Joao Pedro assist. You think, shoot, go for it. And then he cuts back and your heart sinks a little bit, trying to be too clever. And then that boy, Enzo Fernandez, steps up and hammers the ball in. Just absolute scenes. Takes the shirt off, gets booked, completes the comeback, makes history. First time to ever, like I said, come back and win from 2 goals down on the day. 3 years to the day we signed him. And then there's a great bunch of fights. Todibo looks like he's literally trying to eat the face of Joao Pedro. There's a bunch of bookings. Oh, Kai said this before. Fernandez gets booked for celebration. Then you got Scarles Traore gets in a fight. Pedro gets in a fight, and Todibo literally grabs his head and looks like he's about to bite his face off. And understandably, VAR intervenes, gives him a straight red. We survive the final corner of West Ham, and we seal all 3 points. Haven't even looked at the Premier League table. What is going on? What's going on there then, shall we? We're currently in 4th. We will go back down to 5th if Man United win, but 5th still probably a a Champions League spot. Oh, I mean, look, takeaways. The left-hand flank was absolutely and immensely flawed, especially against a counter-attacking team there. It will be a huge learning opportunity for Rosinia, and fortunately for him, he got to see the bad, learn, and then see the good, and win, and take all 3 points all in the same game, which you must say is very useful. Yeah, man, I'm absolutely gassed. I'm so pleased for him. I'm so pleased for Chelsea fans. We're losing to West Ham at home is a no-no for Chelsea, no matter what's going on in both teams' situation. And I'm just sort of absolutely, because they've got an awful record at Stamford Bridge, just long may it continue, do you know what I mean? So I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm very, very pleased. I'm very happy. And let's keep winning games, because that's the best thing ever, isn't it? That is the best thing ever. Let me know your thoughts, though. Please do leave them down in the comment section on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Please do follow and 5-star on Spotify and your podcast app. Search Football Therapy Podcast. And ensure, if you utilize the Instagram and the TikTok, that you follow Football Therapy Clips for short form content. Alright, guys, it's been an interesting January, but started bad, got better. Well, actually, it's been alright, all in all, I think. And here's to it getting much better. And of course, I'll be covering the end of the transfer window. So keep it locked. See you soon.